So, my dear children, we have to learn to love. This is the only thing which we have to learn. Because where there is love, there is God. And where there is God, then we are in love. If one is to define God, it's all love. And what are you? That is all love. And love has its own great power, greatest power. Because God has some understanding that He has not given any power to that person who used to injure others or to disturb others. More the power will be there to some disturbers, they will more and more disturb others. But more love is there and more competency, powers and blessings will be there. And that is why perhaps God has found this criterion of love and that He has picked for Himself and that He may be useful for everybody and He may be admitted as God and He may really be great and also felt like really great and that He may be really powerful. And this is also our criterion. If we are to get any power with which we can disturb somebody, all our powers will be taken away. Because God will not like it. And if we are serving humanity, in love we may serve one another and He will give us more and more, more and more. Till you are one with God and that you will be able to work like God and then you will be given everything what God has got, because then you will only bless everybody. Nobody will be able to disturb you or hurt you, but you will also have such a heart that anybody who is suffering, you will not be able to bear. You will have to devote your life for that person till that person is really released of sufferings. And when we had realized that this way of life, way of love, then there will be no suffering, no problem, no disease, and that we have ourselves invited all these havocs, and we are suffering and we are making others also suffer. So my dear, it is a great request to all of you that please develop your love from here, because God is source of all goodness, especially of love. And that more and more you will be connected with the holy sound and light, the more and more you will be cleaned of all hatred or negativity or animosity or anything duality like. And you will be in the ocean of love, light, life, and that you will also become a part of it. And you will, when a part of it, then you will have to share also whole of it. You will be one with God and as perfect as God. This is the criterion of your life if you want to live. This is the way. Because we have to live forever. There is no time we will not be there. There had also no time when we were not. Then why to live in sufferings? If it is a suffering of 1 or 2 days, that is also unbearable. Even 1 minute suffering is also not acceptable. How we can accept a lifelong, eternity suffering? But in ignorance we are going along. Perhaps it will end, perhaps it will end. But time will come that we will find ourselves in this great and great ocean of horrible, most horrible and hard situation from which we will not be able to come out, because this is the only chance in the human body, in this world, that you can come out of it. And if after today you could not feel, when you will feel, and when you will start, when you will like it. Although it is not so easy expedition, it will be hard, no doubt. To fight with the mind, it is not so easy. But maybe hard, maybe short, but anything which is to be done, we have to do. That if you are in a deep pit, you can easily come out of it. But if you are in a very deep well, still you have to come out of it, maybe with very, very hard, long-term efforts. You cannot live over there in that deep well. And that you will have to put your efforts. So in this life, this is the only object of our life, to come out of the sufferings with coming out of the body, mind, intellect and this world and entering into the kingdom of God. So I have given you this solution of all the questions, and what questions I have put to you, those are also to be considered, but there are some questions which have been sent by you. Perhaps this will also help me, that I may also able to put you or make you understand what is my question, what is my problem, because my problem is your problems. And the children are problem to the parents. Parents have no problem for the children, because they are okay. And therefore, I want to solve your problem, and if you feel some problem, I will feel good that you have actually felt a problem, and I will try to solve it. Okay?
So the first question, Master, how far can you go in telling people? People are asking for proof from initiates, what they see and hear inside. Can we tell that we really feel love for Master inside?
My dear, the things that when you start something, they are not all of these available at the same moment. Something is to be found in the start. If you sow a seed of fruit tree, first there will be small sapling and there will be little leaves, and we'll find there is something. We cannot expect flowers or fruit at that time. Gradually this will come. And Master knows what is feasible and best for you, and that at least some sound and some light, which is to start with, that is there. Especially sound is very, very wonderful. It is like a plant or tree, and if the tree is grown, the flowers and fruit will automatically come at the proper time when it is sufficiently grown. In the same way, if we have sound, go on attending to the sound. It will go on opening all the layers and layers of the dust and dirt upon your mind and your heart. And the time will come that the glass which is outside of this bulb, that will totally clean. Otherwise it was all coated black and black, layers and layers. There was light inside, but it was not available. But when with some efforts, all the black coatings are getting thinner and thinner, then something is available. Something will be done by the Master, that at least we take out of this hardest and most thick layer of darkness of the body. And you will be able to come into astral body at least, or causal body, where you will feel or enjoy something better things. And then you will grow further with your practices. So this is the way which they are given to you. Everything is told how you can proceed further, by attending satsangs, holy gatherings, by doing physical and financial seva. That are all aspects of life. There should be something share of God and kingdom of God, that we find connected with everything to God. My Master was serving his Master Baba Singh for answering the letters which were from abroad in English. But after doing this work, he was also going to some kind of physical seva. And the people were asking, this is only left for us, we cannot do what you are doing. But why do you snatch this seva which only is there for us, we can do? Then as he was saying, I have got my intellect, I will do seva with my intellect. I have got soul, I will serve God with my soul. I have mind, I will also serve the mission of the Master with mind. I have also this donkey, he was saying. This has also taken some food from the langar, from the common kitchens. It has also to do something. And that if I have family, that is also there, that should do something for the mission of the Master. If you have got some house, that is also to be used by some missionaries or some other people who come to you in love of the Master as your own family member. As you have got worldly, physical family members or friends, in the same way you have also all this family as the family of Master, and some people will come to you in this relation, and your house will be used, your car can be used, your other things can be used by them, and then really you are blessed that every aspect or anything which is belonging to you, you are not feel that it belongs to me. It all belonging to my Master and are to be used by his mission and his children, and that at all levels you may try to serve the mission of the Master. That is the best way and easiest and quickest and surest also, as far as you develop love and devotion for the Master and his mission.
This initiate writes, "Dear Master, in the book 5 Interviews, I read a quotation on page 47, which paraphrased states that 30% of initiates find the radiant form of the Master on the first day of initiation, and the rest of the people within a few days. It seems that many initiates here in the West often have not found the radiant form of the Master, even after years of regular meditation. What comments do you offer on the dilemma for struggling initiates?"
See, it is a real truth that at least some persons, maybe 25% or 20%, if not 30%, but in India I find that more than 50% also find the radiant form of the Master or some other Masters, maybe Rama, Krishna, Shiva, or Buddha or some other Masters. Here also the people find cross or Christ or my Master, or my Grandmaster or me. It is not that there is no percentage which will find, which will not find. At least some will find. And if someone has reached just now today some destination, and others are also traveling in the same direction, they will also reach. But now it depends upon the sincerity of you people. Baba Samson used to say that the doctor has given the medicine to 3, 4 or 5 patients, and one is quite well, others are still suffering. And when it was investigated, they have not taken care of the precautions, and they have not taken the medicine regularly, and therefore they could not get relieved of the disease. So my dear, these instructions which are given to you at the time of initiation, those are to be scrupulously and very, very nicely to be observed. My Master gave me the instructions that I should meditate for 2.5 hours, but I started with 3 hours. That if I go to the Master that I could not find satisfaction, he may not accuse me that what I had told you, you could not do, and how can you blame me? And that I had done something more than that what he told, so that I may not feel myself accused. If I don't find something satisfaction, then I may be able to ask him the question. And if you have put this question, first ask yourself question that have you gone along with the same procedures and sincerity and with loving efforts that you have really done what it was required of you, what was requested of you to do, and after you have done for some time. I meditated for about 6 months for testing this way of life, this path, because I had already gone through so many other paths and which could not be satisfying me. They were not successful. And that I had to then accept it only after having verifying it. And therefore I had to work upon it also, really. I had worked upon it, and it was working, and I could feel satisfied also. So my dear, if you have put this question to me, first you should have this question to you, what I had told to you, what was commanded to you. Have you really done? And if after that you are not finding, then you can ask me. But there are different backgrounds of the people. Some people find on the very first of initiation, third region, fourth region, even fifth region some people find. But some cannot even come out of the physical body even, not even up to the astral planes. And they had been taken 3, 4 days, 5 days, or even a week, just to see little light or little sound. Because everybody comes with some background. What we say or other people say, that is general ruling, general system. But everybody is special and individual. And according to the individuality, you will have to see where I stand. And then work upon it, and it will be there. And if still you do not find, it is very clear over here that some people who are here for about 15 days or little more or less, certainly they will find help. And that certain kind of retreats are there, this month is there, that you can stay here for some months, or maybe some years, and you only go back when you have found it. These places I have established only for this purpose, that if you cannot be helped by the doctor, just by medicine, you will have to be admitted into the hospital, and sometimes for intense care, for some chronic cases. So check up what is your case, and be dealt with likewise.
Master, you sometimes refer to your crew that came with you from the higher region. I would like to know who's included in your crew.
See, Master, see, my dear, that I have to bring some people as crew, because in this world, all the people who are caught by the negative power, they will not be able to come to me, because they are already under the clutches of mind and matter and negative power. So some people have to be brought from the higher regions, a fifth region at least, or some even from the eighth region, because they are sufficiently strong that they will not be dissuaded by the negative power, they will not be affected by the negative power. Still, there are some people who still have been affected. I know, and you would have also known that there were some people who are working for me, but they have been taken away by the negative power. And that still there are some people who are going along, and they have suffered every kind of tragedy on this path, but they did stand to their duty, and they did not waver. Why it was? Because they were given such like energy and power and resistance that they will stand. Negative power will not be able to favor them. They were really strong in their hearts, in their connection. Others we are shaking away. So that is why in this world, when there is something you have to do, you cannot go and try to collect some road that fight for you. You will have to take your armies from your starting point. And with those armies which you take with you, and they are well under your trust, and you can really believe in them, and really they are educated and trained, and they will not waver, they will fight to the last moment for you. With the help of such like people, you will be able to win the war. Otherwise, you cannot feel time of war. You will be able to collect some people from the local area. That is not dependable. That is why masters depend upon such like provisions or agencies which are really dependable. However, in the time when some people, when souls are getting ready and they are now equipped with certain power from the master and they can resist the negative power, they can also be recruited. They can also be working as crew. There is no bar to it. Anybody who is fit for and is reliable and dependable will be taken up and will be made really more reliable, more dependable, as long as he will go on working according to the instructions of the master. Every initiate, it is my feeling, every initiate who has been initiated by me will have to work as my guru. They had been under the control of negative power, but now they belong to me, and if they go along with the instructions, they will be out of the control of negative power, and they will have to be with me, and they will feel like working for me in every kind of difficulties and problems, and they will not waver. And this is my source of success. Not only the crew which I brought with me, they will prepare you. They had prepared you. But now you are prepared and you will work as a crew for me.
So it's not possible to name any names.
Everybody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 100. Oh, everybody, okay. No exception.
Master, can you please tell us what role the organization is to play?
Organization, we can say, there are two functions in the mission of the master. One is worldly, to satisfy the government laws, rules and regulations, because there are some things which the government has also placed to keep control over some things which is people play tricks with each other and also with the government. And we are also falling under the same ruling, and we have to satisfy. And they have made such like rules and regulations, how some kind of these charity organizations or organizations which are working for God or for spiritual growth, how they are working and how they are to work. In the past, there was very much great help from the kings. Rather, wherever the kings were going, they were searching for if there is some kind of saint or saintly person or some kind of masters or some kind of churches are there. They used to specially give help. Even now in India, there are some certain ashrams or churches or temples which have got some property in their name given by the rulers, that the expenses of the kitchen or other services which are there may not be available from the public, but for your good function, we give you these 2 villages that the what you call taxes etc. which are there from the 2 or 3 villages, that will be given to you, and with that you may maintain your these holy services. And services were also going on quite nicely. But as the time went on, there were some other people who had felt like deriving the that out of the way benefit, and they tried to use such like privileges from the government in the illegal and in negative way, and everything comes to notice. And if one person in the family does something wrong, whole the family is blamed, whole the family is accused. In this way, gradually, this leniency or this way of working of the kings in the favor of all the scientific person became more and more hard, more and more hard. And in India, I think it was about 100 years back, there was no taxes, etc., or no accounts, etc., for any kind of organization which is working for spirituality. But after some time, when they found that so many people are getting undue advantage of it, and they are misusing it, then they had to impose certain kind of control. And this is the organization meant for that to look for and then to adjust whatever rules and regulations are there and to go along satisfying, and there is no problem from the ruling government. And also second is there how to then work to furnish the mission of the master. Because it is there that one man cannot do really any justice. If Lord Christ started his work, at least he had so many other supporters. And those 12 apostles were there who were sent. So there was some kind of organization he had to make so that his mission may flourish. So this is second objective of the mission, that how far we understand it spiritually and begin to work with all good ways and means which Master has put in. And the best way is that we may keep connected inside to the Master, so that our inner setup, which is connected to the Master, will not think anything opposite. But if we are told something from outside, there can be all possibility that mind may try to interfere. But when mind is controlled from inside, and then inside control will work so successfully that nobody can do anything wrong. And that is why in my talks I had been stressing very hard, please reach Master inside. And my Master was also expressing the same thing. And he was stressing on the people that you see that how many people, the initiates of Baba Singh, are crying and had been crying. Because Baba Singh used to say that when I am living, you may try to reach the inner Master. And when you will not reach and I leave the body, after that, the negative power can really dissuade you and you will not be able to find. And that happened really, that there may be 2% or 5% at most. There were people who came to the real success where the spirituality of Baba Singh was working in the new body. And my Master was saying that please be careful from this example, that during my lifetime, if you reach me, and then negative power will not be able to do any harm to you, and you will find myself where I will be next. I will change my body, no doubt. But Master power is always there. From the beginning till the end, it remains the same. Master power never changes. But it only changes the body, that is bulb which is now given light. It may be fused, it may go bad. It can be changed. But the power which is coming from behind is the same. So Master power is the same, only body through which it has to work is only changing. This was the theorem of the way of working of the eternal Master, which is Word God. Word God. Word made flesh and dwelt amongst us. So my dear, this is the basic theorem that all these organizations which are working for spirituality, they are really working for spirituality 100%. Something is there to satisfy the outer laws and regulations only for, but not for taking care that they are not hindrance in our way, and that they do not create any trouble or problem for us, and we are going freely.
Master, is this path the only way to find God?
My dear, it may be accepted by all the people of the world. It may be accepted only by one person in this world. But any person who will find wings will fly. If one person finds wings, one person will fly. If all the 5 billion people will find wings, all will begin to fly. This is the only way, my dear, that through soul, that we are souls, we belong to God, we are the seed of kingdom of God, and gift unto God. And this body temple of God, and that God is there in it, kingdom of God is there in it. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. This is the basic theorem. It is not that I am giving, that is correct, but I am giving the same thing which is eternal truth. It's not my made. I cannot change it also. If there is sun, it is already there. I cannot make a new sun, or I cannot change this, because it's already there and functioning all right. There is no need of any change or anything new to be made. Therefore, the masters just come just to make the people see that reality which is already there. But they have been dissuaded, because that power which was to see and check up that reality, that is no more working. And our blindness of the mind is there, which has got no understanding and no feeling, it cannot understand. And we are only given darkness inside. And darkness is taking us towards more and more darkness. So this way of life, which I have found from my master, and my master had found his own master, it is coming down from eternity. It is not made by my master, it was not made by my grandmaster, it is not made by me. It is that your fathers were enjoying the sun, your grandfathers were also enjoying the same sun, and previous generations were also enjoying the same sun. And the same sun which is giving light has to be followed, has to be found and be benefited. So this is my humble submission to all of you, that this way of life which I have been able to be benefited, and this has been given to you, is the only way, as I have also gone through almost all the parts of the world. I could not find anything better, because I can test, and I have tested also. But you cannot test. Perhaps if you go somewhere, the negative power may be able to cheat you, deceive you easily. But a person who is already at the standard of life, if there is anything lower than that, will be able to check up. It is not of the same standard, it is lower down. So nobody could tell me if there is something better than this. And you are also to believe me, it tells you do not really verify yourself.
Master, how do you define success in meditation?
Success is when you find master inside. Really, what is our object? It is not the light, it is not the sound. The light and sound is there just to call you, or to give you some kind of assistance, some lift, that you may reach somebody. And that when you reach somebody, then you are at the destination and you enjoy. So you are really, the toil is to find the master inside. And that is not so hard. He will be there. But it will require a little more purification. That outer master is available everywhere and available to everybody. One may sinner, dacoit, robber, killer, whatever one may be. But outer master is available. And that is the beauty of the outer master, that is available to every person. And every person has to be accepted, and every person will be cleaned. But inner master will only be available till you are clean of that standard. Which standard is there of the master inside? And that then he will be available, and then he will further take you up. And almost half your toils are already done. And when you have reached the master, then you are not to toil so hard. You are only to look into his eyes, and you will go on emerging into him, and he will go on accepting you, and you will become one with him, and he is already one with God, and you will also one with him. So it is not God which is your destination that you have to find, but it is your master which is there, which you are to find, and then you have found everything. There is nothing which will not be found. He will then be responsible to guide you, to protect you, to lead you, and to help you, and will not let you astray or be little dissuaded or cheated or in some other way eluded or deluded by the negative power. You will have 100% guidance and protection.
I didn't see light or hear sound at initiation, and haven't since then either, which is about a year ago. What does this mean?
No light, no sound?
No light, no sound.
But my dear, such like cases can be. But still I had been helping wherever I had gone. Even in USA in Miami, I had been giving such like help. In Europe also I had given, because there are some people who have got no light, no sound due to some reasons. But I had feeling in my heart that at least there should be no one who is not having sound. And that is why I have tried to help as a general, and I asked the people just declare that if anybody has not sound, they must have sound. Because if they have sound, at least there is something which they are to go along, and light will automatically be found. Sound is like the tree. If tree is growing and tree is with you, light is like the fruit. Fruit will automatically come. And that I have seen also, that the people when meditate on sound, light also automatically comes after some time. And that here I could not give this help, but I had been giving help to some entity people who are very much being disturbed by some kind of possessions, and being that subject more important, I had to devote more time, special time for that. But still, if there are some people who are having no sound, it may not be through me, but I will report some people that they may help you, and if they also let it be, could not help you, I will also try to help. Some cases which are really chronic or hard cases, no hopeless cases, there no doubt, but everybody, I also feel, should have at least sound. And when we have sound, don't worry about light. Light will automatically come.
Master, what is the most important virtue of spirituality?
Most important?
Most important virtue. A virtue.
Virgin?
Virtue.
Virtue, okay.
No. Not me.
So my dear, first I went to Germany. When I started my work, I could understand German, and they could understand me very well, because they were not really speaking English, and I was also not really speaking English. We are both at the same level. So we could understand each other. But when I came to USA, I could not understand English. It took some time to be accustomed. And when I went to New Zealand, then it was something still hard. Their English is still very much different. So the languages are changing generally. So accents or some words are how to speak, it is something different. In New Zealand, they do not say way, they say why. They do not say make, Mike. It was very hard to understand. And then I ask that person, please spell the way you say Y. Then he spelled W-I-Y. In writing it was A, but they was pronouncing it I. Then I told, okay, there is something basic wrong, it cannot be corrected. So my dear, the best virtue for developing on spiritual path is belief in the Master. Because in the beginning you will have to believe. If the child is born to the mother, he has not tested the mother. He has not tested love or affection or some kind of other usefulness of the master, of the mother. But the child has to believe the mother, and that what mother gives, he has to receive it with full faith, and that is to keep with the mother that this is the only one who is to protect me, save me, and it is my life, and that it is there with me, everything is there with me. This is belief, not verification. And this belief is there to start with, and afterwards the belief will also come up with the practical experiences of the child's life, that what great affection, what great love, and what great care is being observed by the child, and then he will go on getting more and more mentally or intellectually believing the love and affection of the mother, which he will experience. And when he still grow further, he will check up still more. So this is to start with. We have to believe the words of the Master, and he has to give some belief in some ways. There are two ways. One is just to satisfy the mind in some way with some kind of intellectual discourses, that what you already know about God or kingdom of God or something of the world. He will tell you this is the real meaning, and in this way what is written in scriptures, it will be found by you. What is assured to you, that you will find, and also all what is told in the scriptures you could not find with any way or means as yet, as you go to other people of this world. There is nothing that they have found of kingdom of God, or they have found this body as temple of God, and that they could enjoy something inside, and that how they can believe that this is the path, which is real path, which their scripture tell they do not find, they have not found. But still they are going along. This misunderstanding which is going on in the mind, that you have to clear up to just make them understand really. And second thing is that Master also catches hold of the soul, which is just held. My Master asked you to say that spirituality is not taught, it is caught. That Master is not to tell you something, he is to catch you and then deal with you. That is the second way. Just to make this process easy, he has to just first deal with your mind and intellect. That your intellect also feels it is good, and mind also feels it is good. And then the process is easier. Otherwise, if the mind doesn't accept and the intellect doesn't accept, Master will still go on dealing on that soul. If once a soul has seen the Master or heard the Master, that is caught by the Master. That may not come to the Master again, but that will have to come again. Maybe in this life or maybe another life, because that has been caught. So spirituality is not to be taught. It is the power which is there, which catches us, and that begins to work, and that is really successful. So this is the way that we can go along with the spiritual path, that we can find the master and that the path is real and that he will go along with it. And there was also some conversation of somebody with my master, and he had told that I had already 2-3 masters and now he had come to you, accepted you. If I happen to go again to another master, then what will happen to my soul? Who will be owner of my soul? Who have the charge of my soul? Then master told very freely, who is stronger? He will hold, he will take away from others. Weaker one will be left behind. This is there. Because it works like that, that who is really powerful, he will catch you and he will save you from the others who are false ones.
Master, it's so hard for me to understand that all the worlds are inside us and that we have different bodies inside us. Can you please explain?
This is not to understand it. This is only for your information. That when you are sitting in the back seat of the car and driver is driving the car, at some time you can ask the driver, where I am, where we are. He say, I am at San Francisco or I am now LA. And you say, okay, you again go to sleep. So you are not to know where I am, which things I have passed, which things I have to come there yet. The driver is there that he will take you to destination and he say, my dear, come out and let us go now to our home and let us enjoy over there. So these things which are of the way, astral region or other astral bodies or some other super causal, they have nothing to do with you. What do you have to do with those? What do you have to do? There is nothing you have to do. You are only to find God and kingdom of God, and that is your eternal home, and that your eternal family, and that you will find. And after that, you will not feel like looking down upon these hard, very horrible, very dirty things. They are too dirty that you will not feel like having a little glance of these even. Then what you have to have concern with these? You are only concerned with your own wonderful promised land, promised home, which is really our destination, which is our consideration and our real aim of life. Keep it in your heart. And that is why I have told you in some days back that masters do not allow you in the way to look at anything. And that you are only allowed to see where you are to find yourself at the last stage, highest stage. But in the way if you find something, things are so attractive, so charming, so magnetic, or so much magical effect upon you, hypnotic effect upon you, that it will at once attract your mind and heart. And you will not feel like going further, and that will create a problem for the master. And you are kept in the curtains. It is not darkness, mainly you are kept in the curtains of lights even. And that you go up and up in those curtains, and that you are not attracted by any outside attractions or distractions, and that you are only opened from the curtains when you are reaching the home, because it is dangerous. In India also there had been such like a custom that when the bride is taken by the bridegroom to his home, it is kept in the curtains. She is not to see anything in the way. And that when she is taken to the home of the bridegroom, there the curtains are removed, and she is only to see the house of the bridegroom and stay over there, and she will feel this is wonderful. This is the only thing which I had to find, that she was not distracted in the way anywhere. So there is a great purpose of all these curtains. Sometimes you find some glimpse of moon, some glimpse of sun, some glimpse of stars, just for your satisfaction. But only you will be shown sun, moon or stars. You will not be shown anything of the astral region or causal plane or supercausal plane, what they are, what they look like, who are living over there, what is style of life over there. That's nothing to be known to you, because that is dangerous. And what is dangerous for you? You will be taken safe from that, and that we are only taken over there where here you belong to, and you are safe, my dear.
We are told that we are not the body, mind, or intellect, that we are soul. So why is our soul punished for what it does?
I have already told you that soul is our own self, and that when our own self is taken up by the negative power, then it is very much cruel, and that it doesn't act upon our mind and intellect. However, mind is there to support the negative power, and we as souls have to be punished. As you very well know that if you are operated, your consciousness is taken away from your arm, and then some operation is done to your arm. Although you see what is happening to your arm, is being cut or something, but you do not feel any pain, because this body is unconscious. It's an inert material. And who was feeling all that pains or difficulties? What is going on? That body is going on. That was you as soul. That soul is consciousness, and consciousness is from the great ocean of consciousness, God. Mind is inert material, and intellect is also having no understanding, no feeling, and body is also inert material. That if you put your hand near to the fire, who feels the fire? Not the body. Body is not to understand it, but you. But when you are not there in the body, then in India and in some other countries also, the people put the dead body person on fires, and it burning without any difficulty, without any feeling of pain, because body is not conscious, and that it can go along in any way. But it is we, the soul, who is conscious. In this world also, we are suffering as soul, and when we will leave this body, we are in astral body. Then astral body is put into some kind of procedures, and astral body is also inert material, and that we will, as soul, will suffer. So this is the cruelty of the negative power, that we have to suffer as soul, because it is the only agency which can enjoy or suffer. There is nothing at the level of mind, body and intellect that they can suffer or they can enjoy. There is no such time. The mind has got no understanding and no feeling. And mind is the highest in body, mind and intellect, or physical, astral and causal, because mind is connected with the causal system. And if a causal one, which is highest, has no understanding and no feeling, then the lower one are totally inert. They have no life, they have no understanding, no feeling. And it's only you who will feel that there was a horse which was stolen by some thieves, and the horse was told by somebody that, don't you know that you are being stolen? He was expressing, what I am to do with it? Wherever I will go, I will be sued by them, and they will give me powder. Everything is the same for me. I may with my owner or with my thieves, but that matter me. This is the same case with the body and mind and intellect. That is nothing, wherever it is they are. But it matters to you. If you are in poor condition, in very hard condition, weak condition, or you are suffering illness or disease or some kind of other hard things, it is only you, soul, who is there to feel it. So, my dear, this basic way of life which is there, that has to be understood, and we are to start living as soul, and then their soul will only start living with God and kingdom of God, where there is life. In Him was the life. That is why it is told, in Him was the life. And where then life which is livable, enjoyable, only with God and in His kingdom. Here there is no provision. So we are not this world, we are not body, we are not mind, we are not intellect, because we are not living as these adjuncts. Life is consciousness in our soul. So we are only souls.
My satsang host told me that I should direct my questions to the Master inside. I can neither hear nor see the Master inside. Now I feel sad because I keep my questions to myself. To whom may I ask these questions?
My dear, we have got a habit that when somebody we see, we talk, and other one answers to me materially, face to face, only then we believe that I have expressed my sorrows or my good feeling to somebody, and I have got response also. But we have not felt this language of silence, where there is no language. It is only heart to heart. That is the working of the inner master. Inside, some people say that the master can speak any kind of language and can also understand any kind of language. It means it's not the languages, because he has not gone to the other countries to understand some languages. But the heart is there, that heart understands each other without language, unspoken language. And then we can understand and can help each other best. So Master is not away from you. Even if you do not see him, if you even do not listen to him, but he has got some other way, direct way of helping you and listening to you, and he knows you as there is arrangement of negative power. It knows everything. Everything is recorded. Whatever you do physically, whatever you speak or hear, or whatever you are even thinking, or even it has not become a thought, it is only some kind of vibrations in your heart. It has not still taken a regular form of thought. That is also recorded very, very silently, very, very vigilantly, very, very accurately. If this is the arrangement of the lower power, which is working up to the causal plane, the second region, what is the competency of that power of Master, which is at least from the fifth region? Otherwise, Master comes from the eighth region. And he is there in every body and is assimilated in each cell of your body. And at the time of initiation also, he picks up so many of your relatives or friends or generations which had been 6 or 7 generations before. And if they are unluckily in hell suffering over there, he will take out all of them, out of the sympathy and love with which he has got for his initiate, just at the time of initiation. And that he is vigilant about all your relatives and friends, your business, and he will set right and will do everything feasible. And what he will not be able to understand you. You may not be able to say anything. Don't say him anything. We are only to say somebody who has not known, who has not felt our condition. If somebody already knows us, already knows our condition, then you need not tell to them. You will not feel like. And the Master is all knowing, all knowledge, all wisdom inside. I'm talking about especially inside Master. He knows everything. And when he is inside you, he is connected with this all powers which each cell of your body and also all around you. And you are not to tell him anything. You are not to ask him anything. He already knows everything and he has full sympathy. And then you have sympathy for yourself. You might be sleeping. You don't know what is happening to you, but he will take care of your heat or cold or anything danger is there. He will stand by your side all the night, all the day. He is always alert. He is always vigilant. And that he will take care of you, he will save you, protect you, really. But we have not known what is the way of working of Master, how competent he is, because we look at his outer physical body, which is kept at just at the same level as you are, man to man. Outside Master is just man to man. Nothing supernatural, nothing more powerful, nothing special in him outside. You can say him that he is a good man, he is fatherly, he is our some kind of heavenly or something like that. We can attribute some all good things, just which other some good people have got. And he will act also like this. He will not pose himself that he is something special, because it is not lawful, it is not allowed. And if he does something, then people of this world will come to him and will run after him for all these negative things. If I say that I can eradicate US diseases, all the worldly people who are diseased run after me. Release me, release me, release me. There had been such like cases, I think in India, with the sixth master who was following Guru Nanak. He had a son of small age, and then he had also some supernatural powers from the past life. And some people value to come to that small child and we give them some sweets. And then we ask that this man is having tuberculosis, the man has some AIDS or some other disease or problems. Please help. Just he was still a child and he was saying, okay, it will be all right. And it was okay. And then what was happening? That very few people were going to the Father who were true masters. But mostly the people were running after the small child, because by giving some sweets or some good words, some loving things, the child was at once attracted to give every kind of boon to them, what they wanted. And then the master called him, my dear, I am to live or you are to live. We both are opposite, and that we cannot live together. And then secondly he died. He withdrew himself, withdrew himself, because he was something not befitting this world, because there was no use really. What is use to the worldly people? The help which is to the soul, to you. But people of this world only get help for the bodies. And that body is not our self. And if any help is given to the body, that will not really help soul in any way, but rather it will give something opposite. And that the soul will suffer more and more. But what is our benefit? Where we are to be benefited? When we are benefited at the level of soul first, and then soul will benefit us at the level of mind, intellect and our body, and also all other brothers and sisters. As I had told you, that when the soul is awakened by the master, and master takes seats in his soul, then he takes care of all his future, all his past, and all the family and all the ancestors who are yet suffering the health, they are also taken out, and future generations are also taken care of. First help is to the soul, and then help is there also to the souls which are related to him in any relation. Is this not really wonderful? Is it not really working? And this is really wonderful, because our all self, real self is helped, and auxiliary selves are also helped. That all those which are not really our own selves, and they are not needing really to be helped, they are also helped. But real help is there where it is needed also.
It is my understanding that when we receive initiation, we are supposed to experience the unstruck sound that comes from beyond the physical plane. But some people hear only some breathing sound or heartbeat, and they believe that these sounds to be originating from the physical body. Could you please explain?
These are not really from the physical body. Let it be. If it is from the physical body, at least it is there. When you plug the ear, it is from your right side. Any sound which is there from here, right side, or from above, don't consider it that it is physical or in any other way. That is your sound, 100%. Any sound which may be from the back or from left side or from any lower part of the body, that is negative, and that if it is there, that's dangerous. And if it is there, you are not to listen to it. So whatever there, any kind of sound which is there, when you plug the right ear, it is from right side or from above, it is wonderful. Go on.
How do I know when it's God giving me what I need and not the negative power?
You see, when you will be connected with God, then God will only be there to give you something. He will not let anybody come near to you. Because when mother is with the child, mother will give everything to the child. And when somebody is there who is dangerous, had enemy to the child, she will not let anybody come near to the child. And that is why it has been stressed upon you that please be connected to the inner holy light and sound and reach Master inside, so that he is always there with you, and you also feel his presence, and that you are never to be attacked or in some way damaged or done anything wrong by the negative power. But in the absence of this connection, and that you are doing something opposite, that you are going to some kind of other societies, or you are drinking, or some drugs are there, or some other things which are prohibited to you, you are going along, then all these negative things will attract the negativity, and negativity will attack you and you will suffer. And that is why you are suffering, all of you, if you are suffering. And if you had developed contact with inside Master Power, God Power, and that you find really connected to in light and sound, then there is no reason that negative power can attack you. However, Master is there, and he will allow destiny to go through. There is something hard which you cannot understand, that any sufferings which are there in your destiny really to work upon you, you will have to go through. But it is only that you will have to go through and finished. There is nothing, any action you will do which will be there on your discredit, on your debt, which will create some problem for you for the next lives, to cause next lives. And that till the end of the life, this life, Master will keep you and deal with all these destiny karmas for you, that these are gone through in very mitigated condition. Very hard conditions are brought down very much low, that the pains of the gallows will be rooted to the prick of the pen. To such like extent, there is also the power of Master to help us. But if we keep connected, and those actions which we do in this world, advertently or inadvertently, according to circumstances, if we have done something wrong or we have done even something good, those are not to be put into our accounts. But those are side by side, maybe in a day or two, and their effect is gone through. And that you are not to have next life. And some of the karmas which could have been very hard upon us, even are paid by the Master through the dreams. And that dreams are also used by the Master, and that in the dreams we have sometimes nightmares, very hard dreams. That's also some kind of arrangement of the master that you are not to really go through, and that is displayed through the dreams. In the history of Sikhism in India, there had been such like example that there was a king who had gone to a master and served the master quite wonderfully. Then he had a dream in the night, and one life was there which he had passed in the dream, which was very low, very hard, very horrible. And that when he came to the master and asked that what is the benefit of my coming to you, that in the whole of the night I have gone through such a horrible nightmare. I suffered and suffered such a hard. I don't go through all this detail, what happened afterwards, but master then made him understand that it was full life of 63 years that he had to go through this great suffering, 63 years long. And this has been made to pass just in a dream. Although it was a hard dream, but it was only for some hours, not 63 long years. So this also is to explain you the phenomena of this hardness of this life. How hard this life is, but it is a great advantage, biggest boon from the master that we enjoy his help, and his help is really benign, wonderful, and go along with it. So now all of you dear ones may now sit in meditation and take your seats for this purpose.